Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Does Phyllis help the boss make Lily envious by faking romance with Kane? According to spoilers for The Young and the Restless, Michelle Stafford's character Phyllis Summers may pretend to be in a romantic relationship with Billy Flynn's character Kane Ashby and promise to help her new boss make Lily Winters jealous. Kane has often tried to get more intimate with Lily and persuade her that they are still meant to be together. Kane attempts again to convince Lily that they are destined to be together, but she constantly refuses. Since he doesn't believe either of them has experienced love like this before, Kane will once more beg for another opportunity. Kane will insist that Lily unlock the door for him or at least open it a crack because he thinks it's something exceptional. Kane will become irritated if Lily rejects his request for a new romantic beginning. Kane may eventually vent to Phyllis, who has become his new right-hand lady, as a result of this. When it comes to making Kane happy, Phyllis is prepared and willing to go to any lengths. Pretending to combine business and pleasure is one way they might do that. Phyllis would prefer that Kane concentrate solely on their business objectives, but she would realize that's not feasible given his intense obsession with Lily. Perhaps by trying a different strategy, Phyllis may offer to help Kane make some progress. Since Phyllis is aware of the power of jealousy, she may believe that Kane may take advantage of it. Until Carter erased Damian Kane from the world, Kane was undoubtedly envious of Lily's relationship with him in Italy. If Phyllis and Kane act as though they are in a romantic relationship, Lily may now have to cope with some jealousy. Naturally, things could get complicated if Kane and Phyllis start to feel something for one another. Kane might develop into Phyllis's real love interest after spoilers for The Young and the Restless earlier suggested that she would win both love and business. In any event, the show may capitalize on the flirtatious conversations that Kane and Phyllis have previously had. Keep checking back for updates on any unexpected romantic developments, as the trouble may begin with Kane using Phyllis to incite Lily's jealousy and escalate from there. Phyllis Summers has always been a master strategist in Genoa City, someone who understands the delicate balance between personal desires and business ambitions, and in this particular chapter of The Young and the Restless, the fiery redhead finds herself caught in a storyline that merges manipulation, romance, and the kind of jealousy that has historically fueled soap opera drama for decades, with the latest twist centering on whether she helps her boss and new partner Kane Ashby by faking a romance that will make Lily Winters envious. Kane, played with intensity and desperation, has spent years clinging to the notion that he and Lily are destined to be together, insisting that no love she has ever known, and no love he has ever experienced, comes close to what they once shared, and as the writers carefully construct this next arc, the emotional battlefield is becoming increasingly complicated, particularly because Lily, who has tried again and again to shut that door on Kane, continues to resist his pleas for reconciliation, creating the perfect opening for Phyllis to step in with her own agenda. Spoilers suggest that Kane once again makes a heartfelt attempt, practically begging Lily to allow him just one more chance, reminding her that even if she won't fling the door wide open, she should at least crack it to see what might remain between them. But Lily's refusal is consistent, her backbone strong, and that constant rejection sparks Kane's frustration in ways that are both emotional and dangerous. The man is not accustomed to hearing no when it comes to love, particularly from the woman he has long considered his soulmate, and his mounting irritation pushes him to lean heavily on the one person who has recently emerged as both his confidant and accomplice, Phyllis Summers. In recent weeks, Phyllis has positioned herself as Kane's right-hand woman in business matters, standing by his side as they navigate the treacherous waters of Genoa City's corporate and personal politics. But when she sees just how much Lily's coldness eats away at him, her calculating mind begins working overtime. Phyllis, after all, knows that in this town, emotions can be exploited just as effectively as financial leverage, and jealousy has always been one of the sharpest weapons in her arsenal. Though she would have preferred Kane to compartmentalize, to keep his business focus sharp and his personal longings suppressed, she realizes it's not possible. His obsession with Lily is too strong, too defining. So what if, she reasons, she can flip that obsession into a strategy? What if she can make Lily see Kane not as a rejected ex, but as a man who still commands attention, still stirs desire even if that desire is only awakened by the pangs of jealousy? This is where Phyllis's brilliance as a schemer shines, because she understands the very psychology that has defined her own romantic past. Jealousy ignites passion, and passion can revive bonds once thought broken. It's no secret that Kane himself has felt jealousy in the past, most notably during Lily's Italian connection with Damian Kane, a man whose presence once infuriated Kane until Carter intervened and removed Damian from the picture altogether. That history reminds Phyllis that jealousy works, that it has power, and if Kane can play the same game now by appearing to move on, to find happiness and intimacy elsewhere, it might just destabilize Lily's confidence in her choice to reject him. Thus, Phyllis floats the idea of pretending to be romantically involved with Kane, a faux affair that would not only bolster his ego but also force Lily to reckon with her own lingering emotions. Spoilers tease that this charade could start innocently enough, perhaps as a casual dinner with the right people in attendance, a staged embrace in public, or subtle flirtation displayed where Lily can see, but as with all soap opera plots, there's no guarantee such a plan would remain merely strategic. The risk of real feelings developing is high, particularly because Phyllis and Kane already have a spark, a playful chemistry that has been teased in flirtatious banter and shared smirks. Once they cross the line into physical displays of affection, even if staged, the question becomes whether they are playing for Lily's reaction or for their own unexpected attraction to one another. Kane, consumed with his longing for Lily, may not recognize right away how Phyllis is filling an emotional void. But Phyllis, never one to shy away from following her desires, might realize faster than him that their pretend romance is blurring into something authentic. If that were to happen, it would create the kind of tangled triangle that The Young and the Restless thrives on. Lily confronted with jealousy, Kane torn between his old love and a new connection, and Phyllis stuck between her own scheme and her true feelings. Even the writers have teased in spoilers that Phyllis could ultimately win both love and business, suggesting that while her partnership with Kane is rooted in corporate goals, it may blossom into something far deeper. But soap opera history also teaches us that such plans rarely unfold smoothly. Imagine Lily, upon seeing Kane and Phyllis together, battling her emotions. On the surface she may act dismissive, but in private, her heart may ache with the reminder that Kane is still a man who can attract, still a man who knows how to hold another woman's attention. That inner turmoil could lead Lily to make mistakes, perhaps lashing out at Phyllis, perhaps confronting Kane, and in the process revealing to herself and others that she isn't as indifferent as she pretends. Meanwhile, Kane's irritation with rejection could fuel his willingness to lean into the charade harder than even Phyllis anticipates, escalating their romance into increasingly convincing performances. This only deepens the risk that the pretend passion will ignite real flames, leaving both of them unprepared for the fallout. Will Lily take the bait? Will she realize that jealousy is just a manipulation? Or will she, against her better judgment, start to feel that familiar pull back toward Kane? And what happens if, in the end, Phyllis and Kane find themselves too entangled to untangle? Soap operas thrive on complications, and this storyline is rich with them. The ghost of Kane and Lily's past, Phyllis's cunning manipulations, and the ever-present risk that playing with emotions will cause damage no one anticipated. What makes it even more delicious is how it mirrors themes that The Young and the Restless has explored for decades: love triangles, business entanglements, the blurred line between real and fake romance, and the eternal power of jealousy as both a destructive and creative force. As the story unfolds, viewers will undoubtedly be treated to scenes of Kane making heartfelt declarations, Phyllis delivering razor-sharp observations about Lily's reactions, and Lily herself struggling to maintain her composure as she is forced to watch the man she once loved passionately share moments of apparent intimacy with another woman. And while fans will debate whether Phyllis is truly helping Kane or simply helping herself, the undeniable truth is that once jealousy enters the game, no one walks away unscathed. Keep watching, because this may begin as a calculated move by Phyllis to give her boss and ally what he wants, but it could end with Genoa City rocked by a romance no one saw coming, and that is precisely the kind of unexpected twist that has made this show a staple of daytime drama for generations. If the first rumblings of Kane and Phyllis's fake romance spark curiosity and unease in Genoa City, then the next wave of developments is bound to shake the foundation of several key relationships, because once Phyllis plants the seed of jealousy, it never stays confined to the target alone. Kane is desperate for Lily's attention, and while he believes this scheme may be the ticket to her heart, Phyllis knows the ripple effects of such a bold move could stretch far beyond Lily. Imagine the opening act of this plan, a carefully staged public moment where Kane and Phyllis accidentally get caught together at society, their heads bent close over a glass of wine, laughter flowing, body language signaling intimacy in ways that are difficult to ignore. Lily, whether she admits it or not, is bound to notice. Even if she tells herself it doesn't matter, her subconscious reaction will betray her: a glance that lingers too long, a sudden tightness in her voice when she speaks of it to someone else, perhaps even to Nate or Devon. For Kane, seeing even the smallest crack in Lily's icy resolve will fuel his conviction that Phyllis's scheme is working, and that conviction will push him deeper into the charade. Phyllis, meanwhile, is playing a more complicated game than Kane realizes. Her public image is one of a woman constantly reinventing herself, surviving betrayal after betrayal, always clawing her way back to relevance and power. By attaching herself to Kane, she's not only helping him pursue his obsession, she's also elevating her own status, aligning herself with a man who, despite his flaws, has a history of charm, business savvy, and emotional intensity. This allows her to kill two birds with one stone. She gets the attention she thrives on, and she positions herself as indispensable to Kane in both his personal and professional life. Yet spoilers hint that Phyllis may underestimate just how quickly the lines between fake romance and genuine emotion blur. Kane is a man who throws himself wholeheartedly into everything: love, family, business, and the more he leans into their public performance, the more he risks convincing himself that Phyllis is not just a partner in strategy but a potential partner in life. The dangerous beauty of this arc lies in how layered the consequences are. Lily's reaction is not just about Kane, it's about herself. She has worked so hard to maintain independence, to assert that her life does not revolve around him, and that strength has become a point of pride. But jealousy has a way of undermining even the strongest defenses. The thought of Kane moving on, of finding joy or passion with another woman, especially a woman as bold and unpredictable as Phyllis, could shake Lily in ways she does not anticipate. She may begin questioning her own choices, her own feelings, and that internal conflict could bleed into her professional life, causing friction with her colleagues at Chancellor Winters, particularly if she becomes distracted by Kane's new romance. Of course, Genoa City is never without its chorus of voices eager to stir the pot. Nikki, who has always had a sharp eye for manipulation, might warn Lily not to let Phyllis's antics rattle her, reminding her that Phyllis thrives on chaos. Devon, protective of Lily, could confront Kane directly, accusing him of using underhanded tricks to worm his way back into Lily's life, while Nate might take a more subtle approach, observing Lily's emotional state and quietly wondering if there's more she's not admitting. And then there's Billy, a man with his own tangled history with Phyllis. Imagine his reaction upon seeing her draped over Kane at an event. It would trigger memories of their past, raising questions about whether Phyllis's heart is really in this act or if she's simply incapable of being single for long. That in turn could set off a chain reaction of rivalries and suspicions, deepening the drama. But Kane himself is not immune to complications. While he may begin this journey convinced that Phyllis is merely a tool to win Lily back, there's a strong possibility that as Phyllis showers him with attention, albeit staged, he starts to feel seen in ways Lily hasn't allowed him to feel in years. Kane has always craved validation, someone who sees his flaws yet believes in his worth, and Phyllis, ever the master of manipulation, knows how to provide exactly that. What begins as playful touches and staged romantic glances may turn into late-night conversations that feel unexpectedly intimate, and before long, Kane could find himself standing at a crossroads. Is he still fighting for Lily, or has he stumbled into something real with Phyllis? The tension builds even further when Lily begins to show cracks in her armor. Suppose she catches Kane and Phyllis in an embrace not staged for her benefit, but in a private moment when their fake relationship has started to feel uncomfortably real. That could ignite not just jealousy, but genuine fear. Fear that Kane is slipping away, fear that she may have lost something she didn't even realize she still wanted. Her pride would clash with her heart, leaving her torn between maintaining her stance of independence and confronting the raw truth that Kane still has power over her emotions. And in soap operas, pride and love rarely coexist peacefully. Spoilers even suggest that Phyllis's scheme could spiral out of her control. What if Lily, pushed to her limit, decides to take a bold step of her own? Perhaps she begins dating someone new not out of genuine desire, but as a countermove, an attempt to prove to herself and Kane that she's unaffected. This could backfire spectacularly if Kane reacts with possessive rage, exposing just how deeply entangled he still is. Or perhaps Lily, unable to contain her emotions, confronts Phyllis directly in one of those explosive, wine-throwing confrontations soap fans love, accusing her of stealing Kane's affection just to satisfy her own ego. Phyllis, never one to back down, would relish such a showdown, hurling back accusations that Lily only wants Kane when she can't have him. The resulting fireworks would be pure daytime drama gold. And while this triangle intensifies, the ripple effects continue. Nikki, always protective of the Newman family's image, might warn Victor that Phyllis's latest antics could destabilize business alliances, particularly if Kane and Phyllis's partnership bleeds into their professional ventures. Jack Abbott, Phyllis's old flame and frequent sparring partner, could voice concern that she's heading down a self-destructive path once again, only to be met with Phyllis's defiant declaration that she knows exactly what she's doing. Even Kyle could be pulled in, watching his mother Diane and Phyllis re-spark their rivalry as Diane mocks Phyllis's desperation for clinging to Kane. These side conflicts would enrich the story, weaving the fake romance into the broader tapestry of Genoa City's interconnected dramas. As for Kane, the emotional stakes only grow heavier. Imagine a scene where he finally confronts Lily, pointing to his new life with Phyllis as proof that he's moving on, only to stumble when Lily's eyes betray her hidden feelings. His declaration of independence would ring hollow if, deep down, he still aches for her validation, and that contradiction could make him lash out in unpredictable ways. Soap operas thrive on such contradictions, characters insisting one thing while feeling another, and Kane's torn heart is a perfect vessel for that narrative tension. Meanwhile, Phyllis may find herself in uncharted territory. For all her bravado, for all her insistence that she's in control, she has a long history of sabotaging herself when genuine emotion enters the picture. If she begins to truly care for Kane, she may struggle to admit it, terrified that he'll abandon her the moment Lily gives him the slightest encouragement. That insecurity could drive her to double down on the scheme, creating increasingly elaborate displays of romance designed to lock Kane into her orbit. But the more she tries to control the narrative, the more she risks losing control altogether. The brilliance of this storyline lies in its endless avenues for drama. Perhaps it culminates in a dramatic gala, where Kane and Phyllis make a grand entrance together, drawing all eyes and igniting whispers, only for Lily to finally break, unable to hide her jealousy any longer. Or maybe the truth comes out in a quieter, more devastating way, as Kane and Phyllis share an unguarded kiss that someone, perhaps Devon, perhaps Billy, witnesses, setting off a chain of gossip that forces Lily to confront her emotions in public. Whatever form it takes, the central question remains tantalizing. Is Phyllis truly helping Kane win back Lily, or is she unwittingly stealing him for herself? And then, of course, there's the ultimate soap opera wildcard, the possibility that Kane, torn between two women, chooses neither. What if, after all the schemes and manipulations, he realizes that his obsession with Lily and his entanglement with Phyllis are both distractions from his own need for growth? Such a twist would be shocking, subverting expectations, and leaving both women to grapple with the fallout. But even if that were to happen, the journey there, the jealousy, the confrontations, the blurred lines between fake and real would be packed with the kind of emotional fireworks that keep viewers tuning in day after day. In the end, the question, does Phyllis help Kane make Lily envious by faking romance, may have a simple answer: yes, but the ramifications of that choice are anything but simple. The moment Phyllis steps into the role of fake lover, she sets off a chain reaction of jealousy, passion, rivalry, and self-discovery that could reshape not only Kane's future with Lily but also her own destiny. And in true Young and the Restless fashion, nothing will ever be the same once the game of jealousy begins, because in Genoa City, the line between performance and reality is always perilously thin, and hearts once played with rarely emerge unscathed. The escalation of Kane and Phyllis's fake romance into a full-blown spectacle continues to ripple across Genoa City like a stone tossed into turbulent waters, and what started as a simple strategy to provoke Lily's jealousy quickly spirals into something far larger than either Kane or Phyllis anticipated. Their carefully staged displays of affection begin attracting attention not just from Lily, but from nearly every corner of town, and the resulting gossip becomes a powerful tool for both of them, at least at first. Kane thrives on the whispers. Every sideways glance or hushed comment serves as confirmation that people believe the act, and if outsiders buy into the illusion, then surely Lily must too. For Phyllis, the constant chatter is its own reward. She loves being at the center of a storm, relishing the way people underestimate her motives. Yet beneath the surface of their shared success in manipulating appearances lies a dangerous undercurrent of real emotion, the kind that neither of them can control once it begins to take root.